That's a thumbs up.
All right, we are live. Welcome to our live podcast collaboration. I'm Catherine with UNBOUND Gravel. I have my co-host,
Christy Mem.
and then we have from the Gravel family,
Sofia.
Amanda. From
Groadio.
And a special guest,
Allie Tetrick.
Allie Tetrick. She really needs no introduction.
I didn't know where I was from.
Okay, so if you were watching us on YouTube, we had a little delay because a giant, that wasn't my fault, a giant clap of thunder came in. And we might get a little wet, we might be running off the stage. That's okay, we're going to go as far as we can go until they tell us to get off the stage. But we are really excited to be here. It is the first year of our women's only start in the elite field of the 200 mile. And I'm really excited about that. But I want to hear from some of you that have been around for a while, Christy and Amanda specifically. Give us a little bit of your insight on the evolution of the women's race.
I think in the beginning it was just go as hard as you can and hang on for dear life and see what kind of groups you fall into. And now there's a lot more strategy. And with the women's start, I think that's going to be the most exciting thing to see how it shakes out this year.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to really watch this amazing class of women that we have here toe that start line and know where their competition is and really have an opportunity to race each other specifically. So it'll be fun.
Did you think, Christy, when you were trying to get 200 women to the start line, that you would see something like this?
Nope. I mean, I think it's incredible. And Amanda and I have had several conversations around this specific situation. And I think even at the beginning, one of those conversations was like, well, at some point we're going to have to separate this. And Amanda's like, no, I don't want you to separate it. And now, I mean, I think all of us have watched it evolve to the point where this is what makes sense. It's what's safe. And it's also allowing us to truly showcase these women in cycling. And so it's a different opportunity. And I'm glad we're making the change. We're going to learn a lot this year. We're going to learn a lot in about 48 hours. So it's going to be cool.
Exciting. Okay, Sofia, I know you all experimented at the Gravel Worlds with the women's only start this past year, and you also felt like it was really important. Just why do you think that this is such an important evolution for the women?
Yeah, so at Gravel Worlds this year, it kind of came up with the idea, and it wasn't a permanent thing. It was almost like, all right, we know some sort of change needs to happen, but we don't know what. Let's, hear from some of the top pros who would be experiencing it and see what they say. So we got a lot of them on a Zoom call, and all of them, kind of had the same perspective. Like, let's do a separate start. So we did the separate start, and it had a lot of great feedback. And I think we're going to do it again this year. It kind of gave them a chance to be competitive within themselves. Instead of just in the mass start of chaos, they were actually able to be competitive from the get-go.
Okay, well, Allie and Amanda, you have both won this race. How is this women's only start going to change the race?
I think it's going to be cool to be able to see your competitor from the beginning. I think that was always, in the early days, you're like looking for ponytails and like, where's everybody starting? Sometimes people are brave enough to go as far ahead as they can, and some people are mixed up in the back and it ends up being a cat and mouse game. But I like the idea of knowing where everyone is from the beginning. I think that makes it more dynamic from the go.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting on a strategy standpoint as well. There's not a lot of time. Unbound itself offers a lot of luck throughout the day too. So whether you're catching perhaps male professionals that have flatted really early on or had a mechanical, and then you have a very fast group coming behind. But ultimately, the race will come down to tactics. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Who's willing to stick their nose in the wind? Because we have been used to following, like Amanda was saying, fast wheels and just going for it. I'm pretty tall, so I usually can see where most people are. But it'll be interesting to see because it's going to become much more tactical, especially, I'm going to say, in the first 20 miles.
Yeah.
How fast is it actually going to start, do you think?
I mean, still fast. I think they're going to want to still try and go for it and try to make that gap to the next riders coming up as far as they can. But yeah, I was just thinking even last year, a lot of the crashes happened because of the guys, and then the girls are just caught up in it. So I think maybe they'll play it safer and not take as many risks that early and just like make it a more fun and safe beginning. That's what I would be most looking forward to if I was doing it.
And that's why I'm doing it. I want to start because I'm just so excited with my broken foot and all. But I'm so excited to start with the women and celebrate this new momentum that Unbound Gravel has done, and to see what that's like, and start with so many competitors that I respect and watch the dynamics and it play out. And I think I'm just excited for that a lot. Like it's great. It's a huge movement and a moment for Unbound Gravel.
Yeah,
women's cycling for sure.
Last year, I remember I thought I was pretty far back, and I remember Lauren DeCrescenzo was near me, and I was like, "Why are you here?" And I just remember thinking, like, man, if you had your own start, and it would just be safer for you, because I know she has so much, stress with those beginnings, and she holds back, and I'm like, well, now if you have your own stage to go for it from the beginning, and you feel safer, I think for somebody like her, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, Allie, you have you had a traumatic brain injury, and so those starts can be really stressful for you as well, right?
Yeah, it's a really stressful start, and this is going to alleviate a lot of that for so many athletes. Coming from a road racing background, I did slightly thrive at the start because I was used to starting races really fast. However, also being nervous as all get out. So I think the nerves are going to be lower, and people will be able to acknowledge their competitors and really support such a beautiful moment in women's cycling. So thank you.
Amen.
All right. Well, I also wanted to talk about the Grand Prix a little bit. We were hoping to have Leah Davison. She had to save her voice. But Christy, you got to see the whole Grand Prix unfold last year. I know you're going to have to leave. Like, this might be the last question you can answer. But how do you think that changes the dynamic, having a race within a race?
I do think that this new platform is going to kind of make it not quite as important, that the race within the race from that perspective. But some of these women are here to just complete this one. I mean, they're going to do their best to have a good performance at this, but really they may be saving their legs for something else, and they just want to kind of be consistent and not necessarily worry about winning. But you also have, Unbound is a race that can change a woman's career. So there is the pressure of trying to capture that win. We look at, two people right here, Amanda Nauman and Allison Tetrick, who have obviously done their own right within all of the things that they've done with racing, but one of the biggest accolades that they probably have on their resume is the Unbound Gravel win. And Amanda Nauman's won it twice. So it's pretty great to see, and I think there is going to be some of that pressure, but I do think we have some of those Grand Prix athletes that are looking to just have a good, solid performance. And we have some of the women that just skipped this race, like Hannah Otto hasn't been. She wasn't here last year, and she's not coming this year. She doesn't want to tackle a 200-mile distance in her race week or her race schedule for the year. So,
are you excited that the aero bar drama is kind of mostly done?
God.
I hate aero bars.
I'm so interested. Like, what's going to be the gravel beef this year?
Right.
We're just going to have something new. So I'm trying to figure out, like the feed zone stops, the aero bars. Like, where are we going to go for this year?
I'll call it. It's going to be people coming from the back or waiting from the front.
Men waiting to assist some of the women in that peloton. Yeah, I can see that. So,
it's bike racing, right? Gotta have tactics.
I don't say I have a problem with it, but that could very well happen. Amanda, do you disagree?
No, yeah, I think yes, I do.
It'll be interesting to see what happens when the general field of men catch up to the women. That'll be really interesting to see play out.
At Gravel Worlds, do you know if there was a conversation that they had beforehand, or did it kind of just happen and then break out from there?
Yeah, so all the women, so we kind of left it up to them, like, hey, do you guys want to start first? So there were conversations between those women that did choose to start first, of like, hey, how are we going to work together on this? So I don't know specifically what those conversations were, but I did know that they happened. And I do know that there's been feedback that, those conversations did, work out positively.
I think that's cool. I'm so cute. I wish I could mic decide how it goes down, because I'm just like, is somebody going to say, like, hey, are we going? Are we going to go with the guys that start catching us, or what's the plan here? But
that would be really fun to have people that are mic'd up during the race, like they do some of the NASCAR drivers and stuff.
Yeah, like football.
It'd be really quiet. Nobody's talking.
Christy, my mic doesn't work. My mic's broken. She's like, I can hear you. I know your mic works.
Well, I know a lot of people are watching this at home, or maybe they're going to listen to the feed later and get that ambulance in the background. But I'm curious, because I know, Amanda, you talked about this a lot. Sophia, you talked about this a lot. Allie, I know that you've seen this. Why is it so important for us to create a space for women to thrive and for the community to come around them? Here comes our rain again. It's okay. It's just going to be a pop-up.
Well, rain never hurt anybody. All right, what was the question again?
Why is the community support is so important for the women at this level?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sophia's got it.
They're passing out microphone condoms, so we've got to put those on.
Well, I think it's just so important because that's the reason why I got into gravel is leaders like Christy Moan that just say show up. So when a community gives athletes a safe place to be and to show up, I was nervous. I'd never raced gravel until Unbound, and I'm like, should I do this? And she's like, swear word yes, show up. And so if you feel supported and that you feel seen and there's a community for you, you do show up, and it inspires all the next generations. And they're not all racers. It's just people willing to go out and push their limits. And I know Sofia and I have been on the same page. When I met Sofia, she hadn't raced gravel before, and now you do.
Yeah, and I think to build on that, cycling has always been such a male-dominated sport, and so to have a space for women who do feel welcomed is so important. And on top of that, it's important to see for young girls to see women right now in this space who are supported, so that they feel that they can accomplish anything when they grow up, or even now.
Yeah, I think at the core of 200 women, 200 miles, and 1,000 women in gravel worlds, at the very heart of that was like, if we see other women doing it, more people will sign up and believe that they can do it themselves. And I think that that's been the best part about gravel, is the feeling of like, I can do that too. And that's what I love about it.
Have something to add there, Christina?
I mean, I think all of those are the points that we all believe in. That's why we're here. So, yeah.
I saw you nodding out of the corner of my eye.
Yep.
And you deserve a lot of recognition, Christy,
yes.
for starting 200 Women Running 200 Miles, because that kind of set a precedent for other races down the line.
I appreciate that. But it's community. I mean, like, thank you. I'm saying thank you.
Okay, I know Christy has to go, and we're going to talk about the part that she never likes to talk about anyway, which
Okay.
is the actual race.
I know. Yeah, here we go.
Okay,
I'm
so
going to
we're
head off
pass
to
the
the
microphone back to the microphone guy. Okay, so let's talk about the actual race. First, I'm curious from two people that have won this race, what does it take to win Unbound?
Stupidity?
I'll go with luck. Yeah, I think Amanda. Oh, yours works now. Go ahead. You've won it more than me.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, smart planning, a little bit of dumb luck, a little bit of like ignorance is bliss. I think you won the first time I was here. You won the first time you were here. I think not knowing what to expect is the best way to approach it. I think because you just like, I don't know, I'm gonna try my hardest, and you don't know those things that could hold you back, which is a blessing in disguise. But for a lot of people, and for anyone that even just wants to finish it, regardless of wanting to win, having some sort of plan and a way to take care of yourself is the best way to do it, whether you're trying to win or whether you're trying to finish. Either way, I think that's an important goal.
So having Blaze on your team.
Yeah, everyone needs a Blaze or Dave too. He's a good support as well. But does he wear chaps?
Do you think what it takes to win is changing as the field is getting faster and stronger? And
I'm gonna go with
more
100%. Yeah, it's completely morphs. Amanda can definitely attest to that, I'm sure. But athletes are out there reconning, and when I first started racing this event, I sound old, but we didn't get the course till the night before, so you're not reconning it. my nutrition plan was like eat early and often, eat enough, take care of myself, like Amanda's saying. And now people have come out here weeks in advance and looked at all the sections, but I'm going to go with ignorance is bliss. And I think I'm just better just going and doing the best I can and not comparing myself to others. And that's the way I would like to perform. But it's definitely, the landscape has changed to be much more professional, with much more professional support crews and strategy. So it's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, and the cool thing about the 200 is that you can go either way. You can either have a lot of experience that gets you to the win, or you can have that dumb blind luck. Like even Sofia won her first time here. You know, Lauren won. She had some experience of what to expect. Amity won. She had a few years of trying to do it. So it's a little bit of a combination of both, like knowing what to expect, but also there's the off chance that dark horse or dark mare can come in and just do it without even thinking. But yeah, there's a lot more money involved in trying to win now. Like people are going to wind tunnels and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing, right? It's a career-making race for
Yeah.
people. But even the podium, like you're getting more sponsorships, more opportunities if you're on a podium at Unbound now.
I did go to the wind tunnel.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, to see where to put my whiskey glass.
Amazing.
I have the video.
If
We
we
need
find
that
out
coffee.
any of the top women are carrying a whiskey glass, somebody let us know. Do you think there are going to be any new race tactics employed? Anybody? Because there's no aero bars. It looks like it's going to be a rainy day. Do you think we're going to see some different tactics? I know we asked some questions of some of the field, Amanda, and you got some feedback.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the drafting tactics are going to be what everybody's waiting to see happens, and if they did bring teammates or how that works. I mean, the thing that everyone's always said at this event is that even if you try to set up teammates for a win, there's too many variables that plan can completely go out the window. So I think people will try it. It's a matter of whether or not it works.
Yeah, and I mean, when do you launch your first attack? What does that look like? How long do you want to be alone when you know there's a bigger group and potentially a lot of riders coming to catch, and the chaos on that? Yeah, I think aero bars, that I am like an aero no, but I spent my career being a time trialist on the road. So last thing I wanted to do was put aero bars in my gravel bike because I don't know, I like to be comfortable in the saddle and it's worky, and I like to be safe. However, there are some riders that have definitely excelled from using aero bars, and I can feel the difference. I was not willing to do that myself, but now we're going to have to look at different options on those tactics. So drafting will come into play, attacks, and willing to stick in the wind. And I mean, Amanda and I know you get out there alone most of the time, and it's just what you have at that moment.
Being alone, it's advantage. But yeah, I think that there's just going to be a lot more thinking involved in how do we be in these groups, or even like knowing the wind directions, and if there's a storm potential. Like a strategy could be, I'm going to ride 35s because I know it's going to rain, and as soon as we hit the mud 140 miles in, that's when I'm going to make my move. Like that could be a plan, and something completely off the wall that nobody's thinking about. So there's a million different strategies I think that all the women are going to go into it with.
Especially seeing like how much this new start for the women is going to change it from even before the race ever starts, you know?
Yeah, it'll be fun to hear the stories afterwards. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the races. I did want to we'll talk about the 200 last. I wanted to do a quick overview of the 4 distances that are competitive this year. First is for the 350. So that distance obviously has grown in popularity in the last few years. Do we think anybody can beat Cynthia Frazier this year?
Kristen Ligon.
Kristen Ligon?
Maybe Paige Redmond. She's won the Gravel World's 300 twice now, and she is absolutely amazing. And she's been putting in the miles, so she definitely is a contender as well.
Has she ever done XL here?
No, she's never done the XL here, so she's done other long endurance races, but never here.
Oh, fun. That's going to be a good one to follow. Trackleaders.com.
I said Cynthia because she has just been on fire this year.
Yeah.
She's been winning races all over the world and setting course records as well. And so she just really seems to have found her space in that long distance racing. So that'll be a fun battle.
Yeah, I mean, she took the momentum of winning here and just like kept going to all these events and winning them. And I'm like, man, the experience that she racked up in this past year, I'm sure this might just be easy for her. We'll see.
Okay, and then the 50 mile is a race this year for the first time. There's not an elite field in the 50, but how do y'all think that race is going to play out? Is it going to be hard and fast? Is it?
I think the kids are doing that, right? Like the juniors.
the juniors are
Yeah,
doing
so
that,
it's
like-
going to be crazy. Because the kids have no idea how to do anything other than go hard and be stupid from the beginning. So for anyone
And you
doing
don't
the
feel
50, look out for the kids.
Especially if the course is going to be a little technical. If we keep getting some more rain, that's going to change it a lot as well.
All right, well, the 100 mile, obviously we need to keep our eye on Amanda Nauman. Who else? Who have you got your eye on in the field, Amanda, for the 100 mile?
Honestly, I haven't looked yet. I mean, the 100 seen one because sometimes you get like the cross racers that don't want to do 200 miles, or you get the people who want to make.
Just gonna switch mics for you.
Or you get the folks that want to make a name for themselves before they do the 200. Like I think Marissa Boaz was the one that won last year. She's doing the 200 this year, so it's kind of cool to make it a stone kind of way. And in that regard, you could get people that are really strong road racers or mountain bikers that would excel at something that's 5 hours instead of 10, 11.
Yeah, I know Lauren King is doing that race, and she always has a strong showing
Oh,
at any
great.
race.
Nice.
I rode with Laura the other day, and that was going to be my watch for you. Is we've got some serious mom watch.
Mama. Yeah, I was going to say mama.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of riding this spring between their trip out to California. They were just at Gravel Locos, so.
Yeah, they've been here for a while.
Yeah, they've been here for a couple since Gravel Locos. I think they came straight here. Ted is doing the Tour Divide this year, I believe. So,
As well as the XL.
They've got their hands full. Okay, well let's talk about the 200. The 200 mile race. So it is a stacked field this year. I'm really excited to watch that. Any thoughts before we go into? Each of us are gonna pick our 3 podium picks and a dark mare, or you could pick 2. This is the part that Christy doesn't like, so she always leaves for. But any other thoughts before we go into this? Amanda's already got it on her Instagram.
Yeah, I got my list. We did a top 10 for Groadio, so.
Okay. So any other thoughts before we go into our picks?
No, I'm really excited. I think this is one of those years where, I think in every year past we're saying like anything can happen, but this year really like we have no idea what's going to happen because they have their own start. So it could be something that is completely wild and out of the blue, or it could be something that within an hour the rest of the amateur men catch up to them and it just so we'll see.
Yeah, tactics are going to be huge. This is the most stacked women's professional field as well as international women's field. So I'm going to throw that out. The international men, our favorite Dutch Mafia friends and such have come out to race this event, and now women are here as well. So I think there are some riders that people are not marking that I might have on my list that are not on Amanda's that I'm cheating and looking at.
Yeah, I was like, who are some of these names? And Amanda's like, oh, it's the internationals, and they're going to change the dynamic of the race.
The Germans.
So always the Germans.
The Dutchies.
Okay, well, who wants to start with their podium picks? Amanda, you've got yours open.
Okay, I'll start. Mine are very safe.
So your top 3, it doesn't have to be your order, but your top 3, and then we'll do our dark mayors afterwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my top 3 in order: Sofia, Lauren, and then Heather. And yeah, I mean, I could argue for Whitney Allison in third also, but she's been proverbial 4th place for the past 2 years, so I just kept her 4th. But yeah, those are the safest top 3 if things go like they have been in the past couple years.
All right. Sophia, you want to go?
Next, yeah. So obviously Sofia's coming back. She's defending champ, so I think she's in a really good place for it. Lauren DC, she always rides strong. And then I'm gonna go with Is King for my 3rd. She definitely has. She's been putting in miles. I actually did a podcast with her today, and her stats are insane lately. So
Strong rider. What do you think, Allie? You're going to throw us off.
No, I'm not going to throw you off. I think, I don't know, Blaze was trying to give me some like betting terminology, but I forgot. It was something like, don't put money on Sofia because you're going to lose money because the odds are so much in her favor.
Yeah.
But I'm missing the joke, and he's not even listening where he left. So, but it was some joke like that. So Sofia is my teammate, but also a huge pick for me. But that's where the tactics get interesting, because LDC and Sofia are going to be looking at each other, knowing that they are most arguably the biggest threats. Heather Jackson has had a great year, so I agree with Amanda. But then I just really want to get into the dark mares. Is that what we're calling them?
Not
Horses?
yet. We'll do
Oh,
that
but
next. We'll do that next.
Okay. I'm actually, so I'm gonna put like in that top 3 instead of Heather. I'm gonna go to like a Carolyn Schiff.
Okay.
Which then we're gonna get into some dark horses. So I just watched her phenomenal performance at Gravel Locos. Impressive.
Nice. Okay. Well, I have my top 3 are the same as Amanda's, and mine. If we're going to be a sunny day, I would have gone with Heather because the course is going to be more muddy. I think it gives the mountain biker the edge, Sofia. But I know Heather's, man, she's been targeting this race. The wild card there is she's racing Western States 3 weeks after this. So she got the golden ticket to Western States. So I am curious. I mean, I know she's a triathlete, but I'm curious to see how that run bike training is going to do for her. But I do know that this is a target race for her. So, yeah, we'll see. I may change my mind depending on what the weather forecast ends up being.
I think so. The common theme here is that we're all excited to see the Sofia Lawrence showdown. And they haven't really raced each other this year. That's part of what makes it so exciting. Like we don't know what to compare it to. So I'm so thrilled to see that head to head.
Yeah, and I think it's good for us to have these epic battles in gravel, right? Like it makes it more exciting.
I did not make Amanda's top 10 list nor wild cards. It's cool. I'm looking.
You have a broken foot, Allie. You literally have a broken foot. Okay. Dark Mare, Allie, do you want to start? You've been excited about this category.
Oh shoot.
You forgot.
Yeah, I think Blaze took my phone. Oh no, he has my phone. Carolyn Schiff is my dark
You said her for your
mare.
podium.
Yeah, I think she's on the podium, and I am going to hold on my second one until I find my phone because I'm forgetting the name. But I have one. She's Australian.
Allie needs them. Okay, Amanda, you're up.
Yeah, so my wild card, I picked 2, but Carolyn Schiff was my first one, so I'll go with my second one is Becca Faringer. I think she had an okay year last year and has been putting in the work to do well this year, and could be a surprise podium if she has a good day. She won BWR Kansas last year, so we know she knows how to put it together in this environment if it goes well for her.
I'm going to go with Paige Onweiler. She's been putting in the work lately as well. And she's actually dedicated the last month to riding these roads and being out here and training. So obviously it's a super stacked field, but I think honestly it's anyone's race at this point.
Yeah. Just because I really have enjoyed getting to know her, I'm going to go with Anna Yamaguchi. Partially because she crashed out at Sea Otter, and I think she's hungry. And she's kind of got that young, like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. She decided to come to this race after she ended up crashing out at Sea Otter, and there's another one that she can't go to. So instead of going to finals, she decided to come to this race. So I'm excited to see what she does. Did you find your phone, Allie?
I took Amanda's phone. Give me a second.
Okay. Any other predictions while we're waiting for Allie's?
I mean, or people to look out for. I would say Amity's back. You know, she did like an amazing performance in Spain, and I'm really excited to see how she does here. Like, it was just a good old school Amity Rockwell performance out there, and who knows what she brings to this with a bunch of women starting at the same time. So I'm just excited to see her back because she wasn't here last year.
We are all excited to see Amity back, that's for sure.
Oh.
Anyway, there
who podiumed at Gravel?
Second at Gravel Locos, Barrow. Justine Barrow, I believe, is her name.
Cool.
And she got second at the Aussie Road Race Championship. She's also a Masters national champion for Australia. She races on rock salt down there, but she is out here focusing on U.S. gravel. And I think she's really going to excel she's an incredible climber, so I think it touched her. But getting second at Gravel Loco, she's like, there's not enough hills, it wasn't hard enough for me. But getting second.
I know. And even same thing with Carolyn. She's small. She's a small rider, and I was like, holy crap, she won that. So who knows? They could all surprise this year.
Yeah, no one's ever called me small, so that's totally fine. They call us powerful.
Well, I cannot wait to see this race. I know Sophia and I will be in the start corral catching some media coverage. Allie, you will be lined up on that start line with the women to go off, and then Amanda, you'll be getting ready for your 100-mile race. So it's going to be an exciting day.
How many more interviews do you have?
I have 3 tomorrow.
Oh,
And then, I cranked out 3 this morning, 3 tomorrow. It's going to be a good weekend.
Are they posted already?
So we'll post them over the next few weeks. So we're gonna drag them out a little bit. Yeah.
I'm just so excited to line up with this special start for women and really celebrate all the growth we've done in this sport, from Christie's 200 women to Gravel World's 1,000 women, and now to be able to start with an all women's field. I also stoked to be terrified. I call it the bowling balls. Like, the bowling balls are those guys that just are passing me, and I'm like, you realize I'm going to beat you by 4 hours, but right now,
Chill, bro.
Amazing.
So I just think giving this beautiful event and everyone on this platform just space and a community to talk, so I'm honored.
Well, thank you so much to Amanda from Groadio, Sophia from the Gravel family. Thank you to Claire for standing behind the camera and helping us produce
Claire.
today's episode, and for the mirror stage, and for y'all helping us out with quite a scary start with the thunder. But it is now a beautiful day in Emporia. We are going to go enjoy the expo, so thank you all so much for being here or watching us live.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.